Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn 15 advanced cases about how to use the in our sentences. So let's start off with case 1. We use the before adjectives. What kind of adjectives? Adjectives that refer to group of people or a group of objects in the plural sense. Let's take a look at an example and get the idea. The rich, the kind of people, the rich people. Without using the noun people, we just say the rich. We convert the adjective rich into a noun here. The rich, the poor. The poor are always unhappy. The poor. So, when you refer to the category of people, poor people, using an adjective, we use the article. The poor are always unhappy. Case 2. When we use the superlative form, we use superlative form in our sentences to show what is the best of it. Mount Everest is the highest mountain on earth. Mount Everest is the highest. Highest is the superlative form, the highest. Before the superlative form, all the time we use the highest mountain on earth. She is the best player in our school. Best, superlative form. Her brother is the most popular violinist. Most popular. You use the before the superlative form. The most popular violinist. Case 3. You use the before a noun with emphasis. When you need to emphasize on something, to highlight an idea, we use certain words, and in order to highlight it further, to show prominence, we use the before that particular noun. This is the book I told you about. This is the book, the particular book. We emphasize it with the article the. This is the book I told you about. The subject is the doer in this sentence. The doer. We highlight the noun doer. Case number 4. As an adverb with comparatives. The simpler the better. There are certain sayings in English. The simpler the better. The simpler is the comparative. Simpler the better. Before the comparative forms, you use the. The simpler, the better. The article is used before the comparative form. The older you get, the wiser you are. Older, wiser. Before that, you use the article the. Case 5. With certain proper nouns, we usually do not use the before proper nouns. Any article. We don't use either a or an. I am a Tina. No. I am the Tina? No. These are the usual cases. I am Tina. I am from India. I go to Oxford. This is my college or university. I speak English. With all these proper nouns, you do not use any article before it. But there are certain proper nouns where you use articles before them. Particularly the definite article the. The Andes is the longest mountain range of the world. Andes, it is the name of the mountain range. But of course, you need to use the before it and you pronounce it the because it is Andes. The Andes. Why is that? When you say Mount Everest, you did not use the. Why? It is different. It is a special case. In these cases, with certain mountain ranges, we use the or the before the noun. So, these are special cases. You can't find a particular reason behind it. That is the way it is used when you speak English. Similarly, the Pacific, the Sahara, the Arabian Nights, the Ramayana, the Open University of Sri Lanka. There is an important thing here. When you say Oxford, you don't say the Oxford. It is also a proper noun. And in this case, you use the. Why? Because you have the word university. The Open University of Sri Lanka or the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. There you use the before the particular noun. When you talk about certain countries, there are certain countries that refer to a particular geographical region. You have many countries included in this particular name. The Middle East countries, the Middle East. Therefore, in such cases you use the Middle East, the United Kingdom. So, in these cases you usually find certain words included. United Kingdom, Republic, States, words like that. There are other cases where you use plural nouns as names for countries. Names like Netherlands, Philippines. In these cases also you use the before the nouns. So, these are called plural countries. Their name is plural. The Netherlands, the Philippines. Talking about organizations, there are certain names which are written in acronyms, UN, and also lengthy names, the United Nations. In these cases, you use the before the name. Even though it is a proper noun, you use the before it. And with the acronyms, if you pronounce them separately, UN, again you use the. The UN is a global organization that deals with matters of universal interest. The United Nations is a global organization that deals with matters of universal interest. But with certain company names, you don't use the before it. For example, the Chinese government banned Facebook, particularly certain brand names and company names. Before those nouns, you do not use the. Case number 6. When you have nouns with qualifiers, what are qualifiers? Certain adjectives, adverbs that qualify the noun, that gives you further information. The red frock. Frock is the noun, red is the qualifier. With the qualifier, you get to know that it is a particular type, not just a frock, but it is a red color frock. So, you specify it with the use of the modifier red. So, in that case, if you have a noun and before the noun you have a modifier, then you can use the before it. Why? You need to specify it. Case number 7. You use the before ordinals. What are ordinals? Ordinals are the numbers that talk about positions. It gives you an idea about the position. Which place? The first. She was the first to return. So, when you use the ordinal, before that you need to use the article the. This is the ordinal. She was the first to return. The second player did very well. Second is the ordinal, you use the before it. Case 8. When you use the names of directions in order to specify the location of something, place, like north, south, west, east. Before those nouns we use the. For example, Trincomalee is a town in Sri Lanka. Trincomalee is located in the east of Sri Lanka. Take a look at this prepositional phrase, the east of. So, before the direction word we use the east of Sri Lanka. The north is experiencing an exceptional drought this year. This is the area, the location. The north, before the direction we use the definite article. Case number 9. We use the before a noun which is made definite using a phrase or a clause. We use a separate phrase or a clause. What do you mean by phrase or a clause? A group of words in order to give further information about a particular noun. With that particular noun becomes specific. With certain nouns we use the. For example, do you have a pen with you? If you say, do you have a pen with you? It can be any pen. It's not specific. Number 2, so this is not the example for this particular instance. This is the deviation. Do you have the pen I gave you last week? See the difference now. This is general and this one is specific. How does it become specific? Because you have a phrase here. The pen I gave you last week. This phrase makes it specific. What pen? The one I gave you last week. So in this case, pen becomes specific. Therefore, you use the here. You will not find the man you are looking for. You will not find the man. What kind of a man? The man you are looking for. You are specifying the man. So therefore you use the. You use the before musical instruments but not before the names of sports. Examples, she can play the violin. You use the before the name of the musical instrument. He will play the flute today. The flute before the name of the instrument. But how about the names of games? She has never played chess before. I play tennis. So before those nouns you don't use the. So you don't find a reason for these things. These are mere practices, the way they use it in their language. Case number 11. Before specific times. When you talk about specific times, specific days, you use the before that particular noun. For example, my birthday party is on the 26th of April. The specific day is the 26th of April. So you use the before that. I visit my parents at the end of the week. So it is very specific. End of the week is the specific period. So in this case you use the here. At the end of the week is the specific time. Special case 12, before specific parts of the day. So you have morning, evening, afternoon, night. So these are parts of the day. So before those nouns you use the. I practice yoga in the morning. The. We don't say in morning. I learn English in the afternoon. The afternoon. Because of the vowel here, you use the before the noun. In the afternoon. I play the guitar in the evening. The evening. But there is an exception. You never say in the night. You say at night. Case number 13. Before specific periods of time. Specific time periods. World War II was the most influential event of the 20th century. So the specific period of time we are referring to here is the 20th century. So before 20th century we use the article the. We must teach our children the essential skills for the 21st century. The. Again we use the article the before the period of time we are referring to. Rule number 14. This is going to be a bit confusing. Why? Because you have a lot of exceptions here. In this case we have places and we are referring to these places. They are definite places, not for their primary purposes. What do you understand by this? Take a look at the example and understand it. They go to school every day. This is the general purpose of going to school. We are going to school to learn. So they go to school every day. Why? To learn. We know that. Therefore, we do not say the school. We go to school every day. So you don't have the definite article here. So we omit the here. Uncle John is sick. So that is the usual reason you go to a hospital. So for the general purpose of it, he is now in the hospital. So therefore you do not use the here. You say Uncle John is sick and is in hospital. So there are certain words of this particular type: school, home, bed, church, work. With these words, with these nouns, you do not use the when you are referring to the usual purpose of going there. But there are exceptions. What are they? Suppose you are going to the school this time for a different reason. For a reason which is not general for any other person. For in this case, you are going to the school to obtain your leaving certificate. You usually go to school to learn, but in this case, you go for a different reason. Therefore, we use the. She went to the school to obtain her leaving certificate. Second example, I went to the hospital not because I am sick. I went to the hospital to visit one of my friends who is receiving treatments there. Similarly, when you have certain words placed at the end of your sentence, they work as adverbs sometimes. And before those nouns, you don't use the. With these special nouns, what are they? Home, work, school, bed, things like that. She is at home. You don't use the here. He is at work. You don't use the. Tony is on his way to work. No the. But with the word office, you use the. That is an exception. We have a special treatment for the word office. But that is also when you are referring to the word office as a place of work. Suppose in office, which means you are in the position, that's a different case. Here you are talking about office as a place of work. For example, Tony is at the office today. Case number 15. Before a proper noun when it is qualified. Now we know we do not use the before a proper noun usually. For example, Shakespeare was an English poet. So you don't say the Shakespeare was an English poet. You don't have the before the proper noun because it is a special name. But when you use a qualifier before it, you give additional information. You can say immortal Shakespeare. So this is an adjective here, a qualifier, immortal Shakespeare. So before the qualifier, you use the to specify it. The immortal Shakespeare is regarded as England's national poet. That's all for the day. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, and before leaving, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button.